don't see this ending well.
This is madness. Explain to me how this serves any meaningful purpose to end this humanitarian crisis. This is backwards thinking. This is the kind of thinking that got us into this mess in the first place. So no, I am not okay with it.
What's up, gang? John Claymore here, and this right here is going to be the only video that's going to be coming out on Tuesday. I have a lengthy one ready to go on Wednesday, and of course, the is gun control racist. That will probably be coming out either on Wednesday or will more likely be coming out on Thursday, possibly even the weekend. I'm not entirely sure. I apologize for delaying that video, but this week has been a little bit more hectic than I thought it would be. Now, gang, this right here is going on in the state of Oregon, and I think I have a couple subscribers from Oregon. I think they comment right regularly in the chat, so make sure you guys let me know what you think about this. So essentially what's going on is that the left coast, and California has been doing this for a while, and I haven't heard about Washington State yet, but I do know they're trying to ban guns right now, or at least your ability to carry one, or at least, well, basically your ability to have one, because these people are freaking communists. But it's very, very weird how it is that these communists act, and why it is that they hate one class of people, the working class, but then they turn right back around and they love those who don't want to work or anything. And by the way, I'm not trying to be, let's just say, mean to the homeless or anything, but this right here is just freaking insane.
And we can do better.
Advocates for the homeless community in Oregon are divided on how to handle the challenge of public camping. Now, state lawmakers are considering the Right to Rest Act, which would make camping easier. Good evening, and thank you for joining us for K2 News at 5. I'm Barry Mangold. Let's get straight to K2's Megan Allison, who joins us live now at Laurelhurst Park in southeast Portland. Megan, what would change if this bill passes?
Well, Barry, House Bill 3501 would decriminalize camping in public places. This follows debates in regions across the state, including here in Portland. We've watched several sweeps at this park, and you can see work is now underway to change the landscape here to prevent camping moving forward. Some homeless advocates tell us they understand the argument of solidifying rights for those living on the streets.
Most of the advocate community in the state really want to establish a constitutional right to exist. And I am very sympathetic with that position, because I don't believe that when people lose their housing that they lose their legal and constitutional rights.
The executive director for the Mid-Willamette Valley Community Action Agency tells us there are already protections in place. In September, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals prohibited laws outlawing things like tents that protect people from the weather. State law from the 2021 session requires posting an intent to trespass notice before a sweep, as well as a requirement for local governments to help store property.
I do think we've sort of reached a kind of happy medium in the state. I know that it doesn't go far enough for some advocates who really want to establish a constitutional right to be left alone. But we have made some progress.
One board member of the Mid-Willamette Valley Homeless Alliance says public camping has been a big concern in the Salem area over the last few years.
We all know what happened when we were not able to access people camping in the ODOT rights of way, and we ended up with people who were dead. So that's the most extreme, and unfortunately, it's not rare enough.
Now, Kathy Clark says the focus should be directing those in need towards resources.
What we've already done is worked with people who are trying to camp and set up spaces in uninhabitable areas to get to appropriate and safe places.
Both advocates also voiced safety concerns for those camping and the public. I'll show you why they're sharing caution.
That, my friends, is the state of Oregon at this moment in time, trying to basically decriminalize, or I don't know if decriminalize is not the right word here. Basically what they're doing is that they're telling the people who live in the state, even those who don't live in the bigger cities like Portland or Eugene, they're basically telling them, look, man, these homeless, they can kind of sort of camp out wherever they want. They can camp out on your personal property. And, of course, there's not a whole lot you can do about it. Don't worry, we'll get to that here soon. But I do want to say this really quick. There has been this movement in Oregon that's been trying to that's been going on for the past few years, and I've been looking at it up until recently, where a certain section of Oregon is trying to annex itself with the state of Idaho. Now, balkanization and stuff is a video that we may do down the road as far as like a project is concerned, because I do eventually want to move all these videos to project form, but the YouTube algorithm's got a very, very weird way of working on this type of stuff. But the fact of the matter is this here. This is absolutely crazy. So you're basically telling the homeowner who is essentially owns their home, owns their land, owns their property, you're basically telling them that they can't do anything about the homeless coming on their property. This is not going to end well. However, I think I might be able to present a solution towards the end, but let's go ahead and look at the rest of this because this was featured on Fox News. I think it was Pete Hegseth. He actually made some points about this, made some commotion about this entire ordeal, gave a bit of a nice little breakdown. But then there's also this homeless activist who also has kind of soured and turned on this. Not to mention the fact that Cracker Barrel is also leaving Oregon due to the crime. I think this is just going to make things 10 times worse.
Property taxes, sometimes a lot of them. Keep the lawn mowed, fix the gutters, and clean out the cat litter. My kids out there know that's my job at home. It's not fun, but it's better than living on the streets, unless you're in Oregon. Tent owners in Oregon, at this point, they've got it better than homeowners. A new bill would give homeless people in Oregon the power to treat public places like their private residence. Pick your spot. So if a homeless guy pitches a tent in front of your house, your kid's school, or a local park, you can't do anything about it. The bill gives the homeless, get this, the power to sue you if you tell them to move their tent for up to $1,000. If this guy was in Oregon, he'd probably get sued. Maybe hosing down the homeless is an uncouth technique, but there also shouldn't be a homeless person living in front of his business scaring away customers. And if the homeless know they can get $1,000 every time someone tells them to move, there'll be tents as far as the eye can see. Well, there already are. And an army of lawyers will be creeping through the encampments, handing out business cards. Did someone disturb your privacy? Did someone tell you not to shoot up in front of their kids?
There you have it right there. You can't really do anything about the homeless when they're there, even by the law. I mean, for all you know, these people could come on your property. They could destroy your property, and you can't really do anything about it. It makes you wonder exactly what type of lunacy that we're dealing with here. As you guys may already know, the state of California has its own homeless problem, and now the state of Oregon, they just up and decide to say, hey, look, you guys can go camp anywhere you damn it want to. And don't worry, the homeowner, they can't do anything about it. If you touch their kids or try to hurt their kids, they can't step in. Let's see, and I'm not saying all the homeless are going to do that. I'm just saying some of the ones who are on drugs or whatnot may do this. You know, they may subject your kids to drugs, may actually force it upon it. And then, of course, if you say anything about it or try to do anything about it, the homeless, they can now sue you, which I think is very, very weird, seeing how the homeless typically don't have any money. But still, at the same time, though, they could obviously get a public defender. I wonder exactly how they're going to do that, but still at the same time, yeah, this right here is an extremely bad look. You're basically telling the homeowner that, look, you can't really do anything about these homeless coming on the property and basically camping out, pretty much turning your house into their home. And by the way, there was also this story about the homeless going into vacant homes. Now, I know some people on the left who have some very left-leaning mindset, and they always complain about the homeless. Well, dude, didn't you just kind of like vote to kind of decriminalize this crap? I mean, isn't this right here like the chickens coming home to roost? I mean, maybe we should ask this homeless activist how he feels. Guys, about 3 minutes. Make sure you guys stick around for the full video. And I think I may have a solution to this guy's problem. So make sure you guys watch and pay very, very close attention.
No, this is madness. Explain to me how this serves any meaningful purpose to end this humanitarian crisis. This is backwards thinking. This is the kind of thinking that got us into this mess in the first place. So no, I am not okay with this.
So what is the thinking? Enable the ease of homelessness as much as possible, or drug use so that it's a comfortable living?
You know, that's a piece of it. I mean, look, Oregon has already decriminalized drugs. That's not really worked out well for us. Now we're decriminalizing homelessness. For one thing, it's going to open the floodgates. People come to these more progressive type cities anyway because of these progressive policies. We do this, the Portland homeless population is going to explode, and that is not okay.
So what should happen instead? As a homeless advocate who says there's a real problem here, left-wing policies have incentivized it, the progressives have made it easy, what should be done instead?
Well, it starts with the outreach. It starts with the approach. Outreach is virtually non-existent. The outreach serves two purposes. It builds trust, but also deters negative behavior. If you saw established teams out there every day, every encampment, engaging with them and building that trust and bringing back hope, you know, they're going to come around and accept the services you are offering. What we do is we simply leave them alone out there, and it's become this almost post-apocalyptic feeling.
But now you can't even leave them alone. So the idea is the private citizens who are simply saying, get off my lawn, or how about away from my kid's school, or get out of my... Now you're the one that would pay a fine? Now it's me?
Yeah, exactly. And what that bill specifically says is if they feel harassed. Well, that's very subjective. So for example, what if a homeless person is blocking your storefront with your ability to serve your customers, and you ask them to leave politely? If they feel harassed, do they get to sue you, right? Where are the rules in this society? The understanding that there's a right and wrong way of doing things. So that is not okay. Harass, anybody can say they're harassed. But like, I certainly wouldn't want a homeless person blocking my ability to leave my front door or to open my business, or be honestly, camping under the slide if I've taken my kid to the park.
Yeah, but there's no recourse for you, Joe, taxpayer of Oregon, if you feel harassed by someone who's performing lewd acts or shooting up drugs right in front of you. It's completely reversed.
There certainly isn't in this state, in Oregon.
Amazing.
Other states a little bit better, but it's quite frustrating. We have a lot of citizens who are frustrated and be like, where are our rights? The homeless in our community, in many ways, are treated like a protected class.
Yeah.
And yes, I have a heart for the homeless. I want to end this crisis, because if I do, it'll benefit them and the entire community. We got to work together and solve this. This is backwards thinking. This is how we got into this mess.
Maybe they don't want to solve it.
So basically, the homeless individual can now come on your property and do whatever. Take a crap in your front porch. They can do drugs out there in the front yard, shoot up, all that stuff there. Maybe they can go inside your home and screw your sister, maybe screw your wife, and you can't really do anything about it. I wonder what type of lunacy we're dealing with here, what type of mental disorders that we're dealing with here. I mean, it makes you wonder exactly how bad it is. I mean, as I've said before, and I said in this video right here, that it's a well-known fact now that a lot of these people have some form of mental illness. I gotta kind of follow back up on that. Maybe I'm just a little bit lazy. I don't know. But still, the thing is this right here. This is crazy. This is super duper loony. Yeah, it's really funny too, because, and you're going to hear me say this again, but I oftentimes hear a lot of suburbanite, lefty, Democrat types constantly complain about the homeless. Oh man, we got this homeless problem. Oh man, but then they continue to vote for the same people because it's a great big giant virtue signal. They continue to vote for the exact same people who make their lives a lot worse. Look, I'm going to go ahead and say this right quick. I don't care how much money you have. I don't care if you live in a gated community. Once you got them homeless people outside your community, after a while, you're going to care. They're out there shooting up. They're out there taking a dump in the street. They're out there taking a crap in your yard. They're pissing all over. They're trying to interact with your kids. God knows what the hell they could be doing. Like I said, I don't think all homeless people are bad or anything like that. My God, I know people who've had to go through a spell and then recover, which, by the way, is something that I think needs to happen here. You'll hear this in a second, because I think maybe the solution here is maybe actually setting up a homeless shelter where you actually bring people in, get them jobs, skills, clean them up, that type of thing. Of course, California has got these programs. I'll leave a link in the description box. Now, I won't say Oregon may have those programs too. And oftentimes the main complaint they have is, well, the homeless, they don't exactly follow the rules, so we just kick them the hell out. No. I understand kicking somebody out when they screw things up, but that right there, for the most part, if they're not actually posing an actual threat to the people inside, maybe you should do exactly what it is that you claim that you want to do and actually work with these people to try to get them back on track. Maybe you should show a little bit of openness and compassion. Don't worry, we'll talk about that more here in a second. There is one more thing that I do need to say, especially with like decriminalizing, freaking homelessness, and basically telling these people that, which by the way, you can't really criminalize homelessness, but still at the same time, but you're basically telling these people that they can go on anybody else's property and just do whatever. I know I'm having kind of a hard time getting it out, but a lot of this because it's really and truly a shocking story, even as I explain it now. Me, I kind of wear my emotions on my sleeve, but the thing is this right here. Has anybody thought about all the crime, all the wokeness, all the criminals basically being let out? You know, Pookie and Ray Ray, you know, going to jail and then ending right back up on the street corner 2 weeks later. Has anybody thought about this? You see, the reason why I'm bringing it up is because, you see, I have a feeling that we're headed to a society that's going to look very akin to what Death Wish looked like, the movie Death Wish. Matter of fact, I'm actually working on a project about liberalism going mad, which, by the way, I'll be leaving this link right here in the description box. I didn't mean to say liberalism going mad because that's obviously the title of another video. But I'm pretty sure you guys get my drift here. You know, if you keep letting criminals out and roaming the streets, after a while, people are eventually going to respond, especially if the police departments are kind of hamstrung. They're not going to care. As I have said before, it is always better to be tried by 12 than carried by 6. Then you got another problem. Then you got people who, quite frankly, shouldn't be in prison. It just leads to a great big giant gaggle screw, and it leads to a great big giant can of worms that, when it's actually released on society, creates 15 counts of chaos. So if you live in the state of Oregon and you don't fully agree with this, you might want to get the hell out of there. But then again, though, a lot of you out there did in fact vote for this, so maybe you should kind of like lay in the bed that you made. He's not lying. It's this type of thinking that got us in this situation. I mean, dude, are you going to be voting Republican in 2024? Are you going to be voting Republican in 2026? I mean, it was you homeless activists out there who basically got this type of thing passed. Maybe they wanted to see the homeless be put inside shelters. Maybe they wanted to see the homeless be put inside homes. I saw a documentary on this a while back here on YouTube. I'll try to link it in the description box about California's homeless problem. And there's a lot of people actually trying to work with the homeless to try to get them in, I would say better overall situations, better overall standing. Now, like I said before, I'm not completely heartless to the homeless. But at the same time, though, I do wish that these people would, in fact, get a job. But I understand circumstances where you may not be able to get hired, the situation that you're in. I get that. However, if the state really and truly wants to fix this, then maybe what the state should do is put something in place like a homeless shelters with actual homes where you actually put them in there and actually force these people to go get a job, clean up, all that type of good stuff there too. But you will see this is a little bit difficult. However, the way the state of California does it seems to me like they don't even really care. Let's just put up a shelter. If they can't abide by the rules, we got to kick them out. Like I said before, I understand that. But the problem is that we're not actually working with these people. And I get it. Some of these people come in there with drugs. Some of these people come in here with actual problems, alcohol issues. They come in there with all types of disorders, all types of craziness. But the fact of the matter is that if you're going to be compassionate towards these people, you need to actually be compassionate towards these people and actually help them out. I understand it can be very difficult to do so, especially if an individual may feel jilted or whatnot. That's why you have a therapy. You see, these people complain about, say, the police, for example. They want social workers to go inside homes to calm down domestic incidents without no firearm, which, of course, domestic incidents are oftentimes the deadliest police encounters. They want to do that, but then they turn right back around, and then when they get the opportunity to actually do it, they don't want to do anything about it. Basically, what we're saying is that you voted for this, so why don't you actually follow through on your actual actions? Now, like I said before, I don't agree with this. I mean, me personally, like I said, I think the homeless issue should have been taken care of a long time ago. I think there are all kinds of ways that you can fix this. Maybe putting together a home, maybe putting them through a program to get them a job, all that type of stuff there. But now the citizens of that state are going to be forced to suffer because of these very, very ultra-progressive, ultra-liberal policies. Now, gang, normally I would sit here and I would say something like, look, dude, you guys in the state of Oregon, you guys voted for this stuff right here. You were the ones who actually went out of your way to put these people in office. But then again, though, when you actually look at the congressional map of Oregon, it makes you think that maybe what's really going on is just the Portland area, right around the suburbs, right around that little keyhole area right there in the very northwestern corner of the state. But still at the same time, the people voted for this, and I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to be a little bit pissed off with especially moderate to conservative voters who still voted Democrat because of Orange Man Bad, who still voted Democrat because anybody who's right of center, we can't put them in office because obviously we don't want somebody who's going to actually force us to do our job. You see, this right here to me is a direct result of liberal laziness. Okay, I'll go ahead and say this. Laziness. Let's let the homeless do whatever the hell they want. Here, you can camp out on my front porch. You can camp out in my back over here. You can come in here and sleep with my damn sister if you want to. That's basically what we're entering here. That's exactly how open these people are. as Jordan Peterson talked about this, why it is that liberals are much more open, and conservatives are obviously much more closed off. Well, I hate to tell you this, but obviously us conservatives got this issue right. When it comes to protecting kids and whatnot, obviously we are much better. Of course, liberals have found a way to kind of try to usurp that. I'll leave this video right here in the description box. That way you guys can see for yourself. Fact of the matter is this right here. This right here is an issue that got progressively worse, and I do agree that it was this type of thinking that got you in this situation. But dude, maybe you shouldn't have had this type of thinking. So if you're a conservative who lives in the state of Oregon and you don't want this to happen, you may want to go ahead and get your finances in order, and you may want to maybe take a trip to, say, Nevada or maybe Idaho to kind of see if maybe you might can get somewhere where your actual vote counts, where your actual where your properties are somewhat protected, that type of stuff there, and you ain't got to deal with this type of looniness. But then again, though, I hope to God they don't travel with you like roaches, because oftentimes, as you guys know, roaches sometimes show up in the very new place that you are with. It's very weird how that works. Guys, John Claymore, if you like this content, please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign off in the comment section, and I'll see you guys later.